All right, in this question, we're going to take another look at this taxi versus Uber situation. Now, in a previous video, we talked about how to compare the cost per mile. Now we want to find the difference in the starting costs. In that original video, we found that the slope of the taxi function was 4.5 or $4.50. And we found that the slope of the Uber function was 4.25. Now what we want to do is we want to find out what is the difference in the starting cost. Now, starting cost here, the big thing you have to recognize is that they're really asking how much does it cost if you go 0 miles? Okay, so we're looking for the taxi at 0 versus the Uber at 0. Okay, so T is for the taxi function, U is for the Uber function. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find essentially the equation for each function. We can use the X's and Y's like we normally would. And so let's start with the taxi. So we know that that slope is 4.5 from the previous video. So it's Y equals 4.5x plus some value of B. Now, B, remember, is the y-intercept, and that is the value when x is 0. So once we know B, we know the answer for the taxi. Okay, so we're going to plug in either of our points. Let's say we plug in the first one. So we have $26.50 is the y when the x is 5. Okay, so remember that that's coming from right here. Miles is 5, that's the input. The output is 26.50. And so we plug those into this equation. So 4.5 times 5 comes out to be 22.5. So this is 26.50 equals 22.50. And I'm doing it like this just again because it's money notation. So 2 decimal places. And then we subtract that number over to the other side. So we end up with that B equals 4. So that means the cost of the taxi when there are 0 miles is $4. So that's the initial fee, no matter how many miles you go. That's a flat charge. Now let's do this again, but for the Uber. So we have Y equals 4.25 times X plus that Y-intercept or initial charge B. Now we're going to plug in, again, I'm going to just go with that first point. So miles is 5, that's our X. Cost is 27.25, so that's our Y. So $27.25 equals $4.25 times 5 miles plus B, which is that flat charge. So we can carry down that 27.25. 4.25 times 5 comes out to be $21.25. So we can now subtract that $21.25 over, and we find that our B for the Uber is $6. So that means the initial cost for the Uber is $6. So what is the difference in starting costs? Well, a taxi costs $4 flat fare, and Uber costs $6 for a flat fare. The difference in those two prices is $2. And that's the answer to this question.